Hi guys, welcome to my meetup. I'm going to be showing you how to make a cat. That will be in 9 minutes 44 seconds.
Right, obviously. That's better. Okay, go.
Hi everyone, welcome to Carly's Creative Clay. I'm going to be showing you all how to make a cat from polymer clay at 5 p.m. GMT. See you all then. Bye. Hi everyone, welcome. I'm Carly from Carly's Creative Clay. I know it's probably going to be a quiet week this week. I know a lot of my regulars are busy on one thing or another, which is absolutely fine, and I'm totally only expect that I'm going to be here each week. And some weeks that don't even happen, but most of the time it does. But that's fine, I still get a really good YouTube video out of it.
Evil Monkey Spaz.
Oh, we got Evil Monkey Spaz. Hello! I'm not doing it all on my own. Whoop whoop. Right. How's your week been? It's been springtime, so I know we've had a bit of sun and a bit of rain. But hopefully you've been able to enjoy the sun days when they've been out. Right, let's get going quickly. My items of the week. I've decided to pull out a couple of boxes that have flower themes to them. Now, this one is a butterfly on a rainbow swirly flower. This is £20 in my shop. Made it quite a while ago, but I still think it's absolutely stunning, especially the swirl colours. I need to actually remake this blend and use it on something else, I think, because I do like it. Every time I do a swirl pattern block, each time it comes out differently, so it's pretty much certain I'll never be able to recreate this exactly. But yes, so there's a butterfly.
Evil Monkey Spaz says, "Ooh, I've not seen that one before. I like the swirl mix too."
Yeah, thank you. It was back in my first year of claying I made this one, but I'm still very pleased with it. This one is 25 because it's a bit bigger, and the panel on the top, what I did, I had a rubber stamp that was a flower design, and in all the indentations of the stamp I smushed in white clay, dragged my tissue blade across it so that the surface was free of white clay, just the indents had the white, and then stamp that onto black clay. Then you go over and fill in any gaps that are missing and touch it all up, and that can take a while, but I'm really pleased with the end result. It's got like a raised panel to it. The underside, again, I have my normal swirl of clay that holds the lid in place so it doesn't slide. So 2 flower boxes, again both can be found in my Etsy shop that are on the top left corner. I'm not sure how you see it, but in the top corner, that's a safe way of putting it. Right, so this week I'm going to be doing something a little bit on the crazy side. I've made cats before, I just haven't made a cat in the position that I'm planning to make for this. Oh, before I go into that, I knew there was something I missed. For Surrey Pride, they asked me to do a range of 16 statues for them. They are now being auctioned off on their website, so if you want to see what they look like, or if you want to go and bid on them, that's the link for it. I'm not going to ever make them again. It's 2 animals with the Surrey Pride star that they're holding in between them, and there's dragons, meerkats, cats, dogs, what else was there, bears and unicorns.
I'll put the link in the description of YouTube.
The link is also in the description, so good luck if you decide to bid on them, and yeah, go check them out. Okay, right, back to what I'm making. I did an awesome eBay find. Look at these beauties. They are huge crystal hearts. Very, very shiny, very pretty. So I want to do a statue involving one of these. Now if you see the back of them, it's just a spray silver to get the reflection, and I'm worried that's going to chip off, and in places on some of them it is slightly patchy, but that is absolutely fine because I'll show you what I did. Didn't put them away, but I haven't even found a drawer in my crystals drawer unit for these yet, because I'm still enjoying just looking at them. I think I was a magpie in my last life. Right, they're away. Let's get a sip because I'm starting to sound like Selma. I do love Simpsons. I wish they would bring out lots of new ones and stop showing the same ones over and over. I picked out a blue one, and what I've done is I've covered the back in some Fimo FX gold, so that makes it just look a lot more tidy to me. So that's been pre-done, but literally I just rolled out a circle of gold and started smudging it, and then using my finger just to push in the sides and clean it up. With glass it's a lot easier to clean around and get it looking right than if it was a more porous type embellishment. And because I went with gold, I've rolled out this for the base. It's oranges, yellows, reds, coppers and golds. Top side is quite swirly. The bottom side, and I'm not sure which side to use it on yet. The underside looks like that. So Evie, which side up? Tight swirl, loose swirl? You pick, since you've been lovely enough to turn up. Which should be the top showing side? I know, decisions.
Can I see it again?
Right. That's the loose swirl side. Sorry, just focusing for you. That's the tight swirl side. Loose. So, loose or tight? There you go. Your decisions. If you don't want to make the choice, let me know and Jamie can make it. Ah, silence.
Difficult one, but I think the loose, because you can see the flecks of gold more.
Yep, deal. That's what I thought. I had that side showing, but I do love the fact you end up with two different effects, top and bottom. And what causes that is when you're rolling out a ball of clay, the top edge gets spread along a lot, but where the bottom side is stuck to the greaseproof paper, it holds the pattern and stops it spreading. So it's very, very difficult to roll out a plinth and not get one side with a very loose swirl and one side with a tighter one. Or you can go for a single colour and then it will be uniform both sides, but I find that boring. I love the swirly patterns. I think it counts as my trademark, although it's not a trademark, it's just on pretty much everything I've ever made. There you go.
Your
So
signature?
my signature, that's right, that's a good term. So now what I plan to do, the position I plan to do, 2 black cats, and this is the guide I've done for myself. Admin, can you bring my picture up please? Stretching cats. Now often I print out a picture like this where I've gone on to Google Images and I've typed in a term for what I'm trying to make. So I put in stretching cat, or you can put in sitting cat, sitting dog, whatever. and then look through, and you're not looking to recreate it exactly, you're looking for the shape, the pose, how the proportions of different bits to each other. So if you can't find the picture of exactly what you're trying to make, that's fine, that's not what you're aiming for. But having a guide is really useful. I also generally have a massive basket, huge basket, let's see, can I get this out without launching everything, of little plastic animals. See? You can get rid of the pictures now. Little plastic animals. And that is so that I can have a model in front of me just for proportion. So I can work out proportions of things. So today, I nicked my mother-in-law's cat model. It's not exactly what I want. I want that bum a little higher up. But it gives me an idea of sizes. Because we do spot these things. So that picture that we just brought up, I'm going to have up on my mobile because I didn't want to keep taking up that amount of printer ink every week for something that I'm not actually going to use the pictures of. So yeah, I'm envisioning a black cat either side, and then their tails coming up to the middle and holding that heart in place upright like that.
Evil Monkey says, good pose choice, I think.
Yep, I like it. I just hope I can do it. I think I can. And I think the easiest thing for me to do is, for once, normally I talk about using armatures, foil in the middle, because if you have very thick clay, it's hard to get the centre baked properly. I think it's going to be far easier for me to make this without any foil in it. So that's what I'm going to do. And because they're only going to be quite small cats, because to fit two on that plinth, they're only going to be a couple of centimetres or so.
Evil Monkey says, I believe in you.
Thank you. Yeah, most people do YouTube videos that they edit a lot and still they don't do things for the first time ever live. They would have gone and practiced it a huge amount. And I thought, I've made cats. I can do cats. So yeah. Right. The bit of clay, I want to go for black cats because I think it will add in more colour to such a bright base and a bright stone can make it look very, very busy. I think the black will really silhouette it all lovely. The clay I'm going for, I've already conditioned it, and it is just a big huge amount of black. I've also given myself some options for nose colours and eye colours and things like that. I'm not sure if I'm going to have open eyes or closed eyes yet. So what I've done is some of my pre-made eyeballs. And if you want to pre-make eyeballs, you do a little dot of white clay. You need to use a ball tool like this. You put a little dot in the middle, then a smaller ball of the coloured outside that you want, and just push that in. And then you need a very, very small ball tool. So something like, whoop, here we go. Tiny, tiny little, you see? And the set's only a few pounds off eBay. If you look up ball tool or clay sculpting tool or waxwork tool, it comes up under all of them. Yeah, so you put a little dot in the middle, then you put your black. That then gets baked. I like to put a layer of translucent liquid clay on. Fimo and Sculpey both do one. I prefer Sculpey, so what I do is, although I use Fimo for everything, my eyes I make out of Sculpey and then bake with the translucent. And I've got a massive box of them, so I've picked out a couple of eye colours in case I want to do open eyes with them, and I'm going to put them to one side. So yeah, so I've got everything ready. Now, before you start working with black, make sure you've got some kitchen roll, some wet wipes, and when your wet wipes dry out, just open it up, run it under the tap, just a small bit of water, stick it back shut, give it a shake, do that, and you'll find your wet wipes are really good again. So yeah, get prepared because black really stains your hands, so you're going to need to do a lot of cleaning. So, last sip before I end up black covered from my clay. Now, I'm taking off enough clay to do the tail, the body and the front legs. Okay, so just envision what kind of clay amount is right for the size model you want, and that's what you want. Now, you want to start with a ball because that's the easiest shape to start with every time. And if you look at the pictures, can you bring the cat picture back up? We're looking for that back and body shape. It's like a very curved sausage shape. So that's what we're going to start with, is getting that right. So you want to elongate out your clay ball into quite a stumpy sausage. Now, pick one side of the round and start pinching out a little new lump like that. And you're going to do the same the other side, and these are going to be your front legs. Don't worry if you distort the shape a bit, you're just allocating clay here, is what I like to think of it as. We're going to get the shape all back right in a bit. Now I know this is at the end and you want some more chest and neck. We are going to get there, because what we're going to do next is we're going to start pinching a thicker third point. You see? The other way to do that, if you don't want to pull out free, you can just pinch the legs further down and then bend the ball up a bit more. But I tend to like to make a thinner neck, but it is quite stumpy. If you look, there's not a lot of neck on a cat. They're very narrow, so you really, it's wide and short like that. But on the pictures you want to be able to bring the legs out a bit more then, and the head's going to go down, so you're going to bring that down after you've got your leg shape how you want, and so you don't need to worry about the angling with so much of the chest along the top chest bit, top part of the neck of the cat. I'm very foggy today, can you tell? Ambiently ill all the time. Right, now cats have got kind of long legs, so do remember that you are going to need to take these out quite a bit. And
Evil Monkey says just a little.
Yeah, you can make a decision. Either you can, thank you, either you can have them doing that out flat, or you can do that bend and lay them flat like that. If you want to do the bend, you bring the arm back and then put a elbow in and then bring it forward. See? So you really can just reposition your clay like that. I think I'm going to do one like this with the bent arms going on, and one where the arms are completely out, 'out, 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 ' There we go. And then we just flatten the ends to turn them into little round paws. So like that, there we go. Now, that back, then, actually, before we bring the back up, let's pinch out a spine. I know some model makers don't bother with it, but to me, it looks odd when there's no visible spine whatsoever. You don't want to have a very hard pinched line though. You need to come back and smooth it back in a bit and just take it so it doesn't look like it's a starved animal, but it has a backbone. So now you've got a back that looks more correct, and you've got your arms right, and you've got your neck there. So now we're going to focus on the back end. So I would put my fingers either side of the spine where I want to start to bend it up, like that. Yeah? Once I've got it into the position of that nice rounded sausage shape, I'm then going to take from the very tip where the base of the spine is and pinch out some more clay allocation for that towel. And we're going to need that to be kind of long. So I'm very much taking quite a bit there. And that's okay. Just remember you need to round off the base of that so you still got the hips and butt shape. And then you're going to pinch, secure it, keep pinching and pulling it up until you've got a towel the length you want. So we're now there. It's coming along at a nice fair old clip. So we're up like that, we've got a towel like that. Right. Now, back legs. We can use wire in it. I'm going to see whether I can make them without the wire, whether they will hold. But we'll have to see. You've got to make sure you've got a bit for a hip but enough for your leg. So that ball looks far more like it than that ball. I think that's more clay than what we given for the front legs. And if you notice, cat's legs are the same length front and back, so it helps if I don't go for my grey accenting clay. Dear me, that would have looked odd. Get a new bit of clay, Carly. So let's half that.
Says, hello.
Hello, we're making kitties. Yeah, still a bit too much clay there. Got to make sure your proportions are right, or it's one of the things that the human mind spots.
Hearty Life says, that's looking so cute already.
Yeah, it's going to be a cat with its stretching pose, and I got some really cool crystal hearts off of eBay, that sort of size, but the backs are a bit scruffy. So what I've done is I have clay covered the back, and we're going to do two cats doing this, and then the towel's going to come up and over like this and hold on to the top of the heart. So you will have that sort of shape. We're doing two of them. So we're now at back legs. There we go. Hearty Life, has your parcel arrived for Jake yet?
Evil Monkey's Bear says, I was wondering about your colour choice. I was about to type, but you got there before me.
My colour choice? Oh, the grey, that I was using the grey instead of black for the back legs.
Hearty Life says, ooh, gorgeous. And then shh.
Yeah. Right. So we're going for the back legs. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the ball, and you want at least halfway up the ball that you start to roll it into a point. What is that? That is foil. That's what's flaking off the backs of the hearts, which is why I'm going to make sure that I coat the backs of them before I use them. They were just over £1 each, so entirely worth it. Right, remember you're getting your length from your front arms, so that's the same length as these. You want to actually compare them properly.
RT Life says, Posty tried to deliver yesterday, but I wasn't in, so I need to go and collect or reschedule.
Fair enough. Right, so on 2 sticks, make sure they're the same length and roughly the same thickness. There we go. So now we got that. If you see, the leg doesn't go completely straight like that. There is a bit of a bend and then a paw flattens out. So the first thing you do is you pinch the tip and bring that over, and then we're going to make that a bit more paw shaped.
RT Life says, still haven't mentioned it.
Okay, I'll be shush about it. I'm going to do a little bit of a bend. Let's bring up my cat picture to make sure I get the leg right, because they seem to be very much see, I keep wanting to do human knees. See, I bent it there. No, they bend at the back that way, like that. There we go. And we're going to just bring the paw up, so that's the, it's like a almost a C shape. And I like to flatten the thigh into the shape that I want before I attach it to the rest of the cat. So I just put it on my finger and I'm just pushing down so that the back's flat and rounding off the top, so it's this nice curved shape. Make sure you don't flatten out all of the rest of the leg when you do that. Done it myself. Now you can just attach it. I'm going to use that to template the other one, so then I make sure that I get the same length on each of the sections. So we're down to, there's the point. So I'll show you, you can do it the other way around and do the paw last. So you put the elbow in and then put your paw in. You can also pinch at the back and make a more defined heel if you wish, and thin up the side, or it does look very splayed. So there we go, like that. Check that against your other one, make sure they look like equals. Once you're certain they do, you can flatten it down like I did before to make sure that you've got the thigh the shape you want. So now we're putting it on. So you're going to have to make sure you get them level, because it ends up looking like your cat's got hip dysplasia otherwise. So we're going to go like that, bring that right up, then let's put the other leg in. Sorry, I know this isn't good for the camera, but I've got to make sure that I'm over the top so that it looks right. There we go. Like that. Like that. So we now have our cat body. The benefit for putting wire in, if it was a bigger, heavier piece, I would have put wire in those back legs, because you don't want in the oven for it to curve down and end up so that the feet are tucking in and touching the stomach like that. You want to try and keep it so that they're very much up. The other thing is, where I'm going to put this over the towel over to support on the heart, that will help keep those back legs up.
Evil Monkey says love and then heart.
I do love a cat. Right, so we're on to a head. Let's see. Now, I want to secure my head to the neck a little more, so I put in a bit of florist wire. Doesn't really matter what thickness, you just stick it into the middle and trim it off. So you've got about a couple of millimeters to half a centimeter sticking out. And that just gives the head another bit of extra security. So, if you look at your cat's face, unlike a dog, there's not a lot of muzzle to it. It's quite short. The easiest way to do that is you make a flattened circle, because this isn't completely circular, it's more oval for the face. So that's what we're going to do first. Let's make the oval head shape. And again, make sure you get your proportions right on your body. You don't want a cat with a huge head. It looks strange. I mean, some people go for that because there's a whole range of animal models with very big heads and big eyes that are really popular. It creeps me out. It's honest. So I'm just rolling out some clay and having a look at the size. That looks, yeah, that looks maybe a little big. So let's take a pinch off. There we go. That'll do it. Now, that's your ball. You want to just slightly flatten that down so you're still keeping around, but it's a little bit more oval shaped, like that. See? Now, you can put your head on and then put the rest of the face on, or you can put the rest of the face on and then put it on. It depends on how easy it is to access the face. And on this one, I think I'm going to do the face on it whilst it's not attached to the body, or I'm going to have to get right underneath. So it's not going to be as easy. Now, do I want eyes or do I want to... Let's do some eyes. Right. The other one I'll do closed eyes. So, start out, pick an appropriate size ball tool. Make sure your eyes are level. So you just put a starting hole. Then you're going to tuck your eyeball in. And you see why now it's useful to have them baked before you do this. It's far easier to maneuver them and get them in the right place and not looking boss-eyed or anything. Now you've got to watch. If you push down too much whilst it's on a board, you're going to get a flat back. So I find putting it on your hand and just making sure you curve it a little is far better to preserve the back. Right, I'm going to use a needle tool. That doesn't look like the right tool. Let's come into place there. But you can just push that in to where you want it. Like that. There we go. Now, can you see it still looks very shocked, but it's embedded in more. Don't worry so much about the shape of the face. Just pinching it in to start to make little eyelid. And you can do that both sides and use your tools to have them as open or as shut as you want. If you've over closed them, just get your needle tool and you hook in under the edge. You just sweep away and it starts to open back up again. Now that crease line, that crease line along that edge, if you have it pointing upwards, it makes the character look more happy. If I face that down, it will look quite sad. So you want, if you're going for happy eyes or excited eyes like I am, pinch it up. You can even draw in a few little creases at the corners just to, sorry, there we go.
Sorry, I've zoomed out as much as possible now.
There, little creases in the corners, just like that with your needle tool. So you've now got some eyes in a head. You can then start to reshape that into a position that you like, but don't squidge too hard at once because you don't want to distort the eye shape. I just do tiny little taps just to get it so that it's not as flat as I have it, and it's a bit more how I want it to be. There we go. Now they've got a lot more forehead to them. You can create that by just pushing where the nose is and bringing that just a bit more up and forward like that. There we go. Because don't forget, you're going to put ears in, and we're now going to do the muzzle, so it does look a bit flat faced at the moment. There we go. That's what I want, like that. And I have been known to fiddle at this stage for a very long time, but that's good. There we go. That's what we're looking for. Maybe you can also, I've also done that, get a needle in the other end, and you're not drawing a line, you're just making it so that that side isn't so round. There we go. That's far better. It looks more correct. There we go. Right. Nose and mouth. Those little off bits of black that you've got, you want to break off 2 little balls. Oh, sorry about that. The wind caught the door. Bit bigger than that. There we go. And they should be as even as possible, so the same size as possible. Again, my dual rolling, that saves me all the time. Get rid of any crease lines. There we go. Now, because what we're making is, can you see the 2 round bits that are the lips? So you want to just slightly flatten those balls down because they're not completely circular. So just a little bit flatter. There we go. A little bit flatter. Sorry. And we're going to put them together like that. So can you see they're just slightly flatter and then put together with a slight slant. Okay. So that's the top bit of the mouth. Then the bottom bit, we're going to do a little teardrop, slightly smaller than the balls that you used to make one of the top part of the muzzle. So like that, little teardrop, and that is going to tuck with the rounded bit towards the top and the pointy bit towards the back, like that. And then you get that and you make sure you don't squash the back. You push it in place, make sure that the nose line is in the middle. See how the point vanishes and you end up with a decent bottom lip. If you want, you can fill in that gap so that the nose doesn't have a line ridge down it, but I don't. It's my artistic choice.
Evil Monkey Spaz says that looked almost rude for a little bit.
It did. Yes. So we've got a face. So I'm now going to put that head on before I put the nose on, because I have found that I'm very good at squishing noses as I try and place the head. There we go, that's what I want. So I'm gonna just put it on at the angle that I want, like that. Make it look up a bit. There we go. So we have a face on the cat body, like that. Then choose your nose colour. I think I'm going to go for this very light pink. Remember, my hands are really grubby, so if you're going over to a light, give them a wipe down. And quite often kitchen roll don't cut it. You need to have a wet wipe. I'm not going to be so bothered because I'm just doing a little nose. You want a really, really tiny bit of pink. Cats' noses are either pink or a dark tan or black are your options. Tiny, tiny, tiny little teardrop, and that's going to go on the front between the two balls, like that. You can then come along with your needle tool.
Can you move forward?
Sorry. I know we're on very fine and fiddly work here. I'm going to put in 2 little nostrils, like that, and a cat's got a line along the middle of its nose. I know that sounds weird, but it really does if you have a look. That looks right. Let's fade that line in a bit because I overdid the nostril. Fiddly fiddly stuff. There we go. That looks more like it. Cat nose. So we're now moving on to ears. See what I said about the back legs, having to watch that? Keep watching it. Make sure you don't accidentally smudge your back legs. So easy to do. There we go, and there we go. Because what you'll find if you stick it to the stomach, you won't be able to bring it off without marking it, and then you've got to smooth all the stomach back in again. So we're on to the last bit, which is the ears. Again, little balls, measure their size up. You want them very slightly less clay than you think you're going to need. So that would do it, I think. Like that. There we go. So then we're going to roll them into balls. Bring them into teardrop shapes again and flatten them out so they're now flat triangles, the thickness you want your ear. Then you need something that makes triangles. So tools like that would do fine. Tools like that would do fine. Even rubber tools like this, you can still make a successful ear. You're going to get your triangle, put it in the middle, and just push down, and then bring the corners up and around with a pinching motion from behind, like that. Get the points right, and then just unfold it from the tool, and you've got your ear. See? And repeat the other side direction. Yeah. I've been playing away. I've got a load of happy news that I've we like this segment so much, me and my hubby, that each week I have a look around for a couple of happy news items for you all. In North Carolina, this one Evie Spasmarky would like. In North Carolina, there's a waterfowl rescue centre that asks for knitted or crochet nests. So the little baby birds that they've had to rescue. And they got hundreds of them. Literally. And most of them came with notes saying, if you want any more, just let us know. So very overwhelmed by generosity there. And there's lots of photos on their websites of baby birds in brightly coloured crochet nests. Which is really cute. Right, I'm making sure I pick it up and I look face on at where I'm placing these ears. And I'm just using little tapping motions so I'm not squidging the head out of shape. But I'm making sure the ear's stuck down properly at the bottom. The same for the other one. Make sure that they're in the right place and level.
Says, fantastic, I never saw that online or anything. Can you link it to me later?
Shall do. There we go. And I'm just pushing the next ear on. See, there we go. We got 2 ears. There we go. Right. That is a finished cat. You can use a needle tool to draw in paws, but I'm not going to. Now, before I place that crystal, I'm going to need to make the second cat. Don't put it on and then go and make your second, because you will find definitely that it's not in the right place. I'm going to have to support these legs, aren't I? Let's bring your back up. There we go. That's more like it. That's the position I want. So I'm going to put him to one side. Now, how long have we done? 47 minutes. What I would do is I'll make the second one off camera and show you the finished piece next week. And with that in mind, last week I made a raccoon. And I said to you I'd show you how that turned out. That's how that turned out. 2 little raccoons on a rainbow. With their tails curled up. Once that's baked and varnished, I will put a picture of this on the other video. And if you want to see these cats, how they're finished, either follow me on Facebook or Instagram, because I will definitely share them on there as soon as they're done. If you like and follow me, you'll get notification when I'm on same time again next Wednesday, and I'll make sure this is baked and ready to show you all. But I'm pretty certain you ain't going to want to watch me literally doing exactly the same thing. Once I've made it, I will then position them where I want, get the crystal where I want, which will probably be somewhere in the middle behind it, or I'm going to do them facing it like that with their tail over. So that sort of
and hearty
thing.
Says, they're adorable.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. They will end up on my Etsy shop and be sold at Pride, Surrey, when I go and have a stall there. But yes, here we go. Last little look at him. Black cat. Very cute. Very lovely little dude. If you end up making him yourself, do put a picture in the comments. I'd love to see how you go with him. And I hope you all have a great week. Okay? Speak to you soon. Bye.